Welcome back to TikiTalk. We are in the middle of an international break, which is always the best time of the year. That's when the football is really in its absolute prime. And on Friday night, it really was. I was so impressed with England. I just think we're amazingly boring considering the options we have. I look at players like Foden. I mean, Saka's being deployed at left wing back, so that's not so much his fault, but Kane. And they look average as anything. And it really does impress me, especially when you have, Maddison, Grealish, Sancho even, Rashford to run in behind. You have so many options there, and we always look dull as dishwater.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you can start the England Player of the Year at left wing back. I mean, if you even as well, like Saka would probably be suited more to right wing back than left wing back, but it's so not. He hasn't played in that position for 3 years. It makes no sense to me.
They could really do with someone like Chilwell, who was a left wing back. That would be really good. Imagine if they had him. He played for England. He could maybe play there. Or Shaw could probably even do a job there. That would be smart.
He was Shaldinho. What was it again? Shaldinho? In the Euros?
They both got a bit fat, but
he's fatty. He just stinks, Southgate, doesn't he? Let's be real.
I've had enough of it, Robbie.
Yeah,
I actually I'm firmly of the belief, and have been of the belief, even prior to Euros, where I've stood with Southgate. Thanks for the happy vibes, but you're not on the tactical level of a lot of other managers.
I mean, I was in the Euros, Gareth Southgate in. I was one of the few people who wanted him in, I think, before. And that Germany game, I was defending him pretty aggressively. And that Germany game, everyone was very negative about the formation, going far at the back. But I thought, I just felt Southgate, a bit like what Arteta did at Arsenal, he galvanised the squad, which we never had at England. And I appreciated that. But I think there's a stage where you galvanise a squad and then it's implement your tactics.
Yeah, where's the next level?
What is the next level? And right now, maybe guys pulls out again in the World Cup, but who knows?
Pulls out what again? Because I'm sick of it, Robbie. I'm tired of hearing finals and semi-finals when they didn't play anyone, and when they played anyone, they lost. And if we're citing Germany as the only example, do you really think they shouldn't have beaten that Germany side? Were they good?
Werner? No, but I agree, but it is
you
like
can
the
only
mental.
beat what's in front of
But it's the mental thing against Germany. I think he changed the mentality of the England squad completely.
Did he do that, or did he do what everyone was itching for and getting Grealish on? It changed the game because we were shit prior to that.
No, I'm talking about just generally. He's definitely 100% changed the mentality of England.
I do agree. He's brought good harmony to the squad, and I don't doubt that, and I appreciate it. I just think.
Oh, I don't get me wrong. He's
spoiling it.
Yeah,
he's ruining what he's created.
The only thing is, we've just grown accustomed to such boring shit England football, and back in the day, you're like, okay, we didn't have the players so much. Obviously, golden generation, we had the players then, but you're just looking at the players you said on the bench. You have your Grealish, your Massey. You've got so many creative players, and you're not getting a tune out of any of them, or you're not playing them. Foden, Mount, they don't play, or when they do play, they're pretty average.
I was going to touch on that. The fact Mount is someone who's heavily criticised when he plays for England, and I don't disagree that he hasn't really done anything with England. I can't think of any performance where it's been particularly notable. But he didn't play on Friday, and they were still shit. It's a lot of players. What's Foden done in an England shirt?
No, very few players. It's like the old school England. Very few players at the moment play well for England. I think Declan Rice, he does all right when he plays. Yeah. Other than that, no good.
Some of the defenders are all right. Sterling had a good Euros, and then that's sort of it.
I just feel just looking at the squad.
I think start Tony. I really do think start Tony. Just because I think Kane's been doing this for a while. He did get goals at that World Cup when he won the Golden Boot, and he did get the odd goal in that Euros. But I remember us calling in the group stage to start someone else, to give someone else a go, just because he wasn't doing anything. I think with England, it just struggles.
I definitely think he needs to be benched more, but I still feel with Kane, he can turn up at any moment, and that's what. Well, if you maybe play a Tony, you're not really sure what you're going to get.
I agree that the ceiling's far higher, obviously, in a Kane performance.
I do feel like he also just for legs wise, I felt in the Euros as well after that World Cup. Because remember after the Colombia game, he was cooked in the World Cup, and I think he was he was sort of saying he's saving his legs a bit. We're waiting for the later rounds in the tournament. Well, if that's the case, put on someone else. Put on Abraham, put on Tony for this World Cup. You don't need to keep playing him if you just cook just because it's Kane. But yeah, there's definitely just right now
names and favourites are what's killing Southgate.
I feel as well he's kind of got he says he's choosing it from form, but now he's okay, I've got the squad in my head. I feel like he knew the World Cup team lost.
He does not go off form.
Nothing to do with form.
Nothing to do.
He's talking about Maguire's been playing really well. He played well for England. It's I understand that, but it's he doesn't start anymore. You know, he doesn't play. You know, you've got Ben White, who's in a club who's currently at the top of the table.
Tomori's just won the league.
Yeah, Tomori's won the league.
There's
loads of players.
There's loads of great alternatives, but it just
Maddison's the one for me, just because we're so crying out for creativity. Like, we don't do anything, we don't make anything happen. He's so perfect for that.
He would have been the perfect sub on Friday. Like Grealish coming on, right substitution,
Yeah.
but like Maddison, we had nothing in. It was like get it wide. It was so England. It was like side to side, get it wide, work it the other side, and it was just nothing. Like, and then it was Declan Rice long shot or someone, you know, like crossing it in. It was just rubbish.
Low blocks against like the way we play, we're done for. Like literally, Italy got everyone behind the ball. Was done.
And I didn't look at that Italy side and think they were at all the level. Put it the way the Euros when Chiesa was in the form of his life, Verratti was playing, Chiellini was still knocking about. Like, they're not.
Yeah, no,
they're not even they're not at the World Cup.
No, Bonucci said himself they're in a renaissance phase right now. Like, they're not.
Skamaka doesn't get into West Ham's team, whether that's a wrongful selection or not. But
he was starting up front for them exactly. Yeah, no, they're in a transitional phase. They've a lot of those players been phased out. You know, your Chiellinis and stuff. So to struggle against that is actually so.
And the only other chances in the game were them.
Yeah, it sort of looked like I was going, who's the team going to the World Cup?
Yeah.
You know, you're like looking and going like, oh, I mean, if anyone looked at that and been like, oh, Italy's a team who's going to the World Cup and England didn't qualify. But I think it's just the frustration of how boring and dry it's got. And you just want to see some entertaining, free-flowing football. And I feel like everyone has their own England first 11. It's always got a bit of bias from their team. But there is just so many options now. And why none of them being utilised?
There's no excuse for it being boring.
Yeah.
With the options that you have. There's no excuse for it being boring. I'm partial to defence football. I don't mind it in the slightest. As long as you're set up so tactically astute that you actually do look good. You do look good on the counter. You know how to defend completely where you feel at all times you're completely safe. And
the only thing is, I've always said international football is very different to club level football. And you can, in some ways, you're more likely to shithouse a World Cup from being defensive than you are offensive. Like France, in the last World Cup, they were actually shit. They didn't have like one solid performance set from probably the final.
Oh, I thought Belgium were better than them in the semis.
They just defended, didn't they?
Yeah. The Argentine, like Deschamps was getting abused. I was actually in France at the time, and everyone was like, he's so boring, so dry. They played Australia, and in one of the most boring games
that weird
I've ever
Pogba
seen.
goal, isn't it?
It was so dry, and like that's the thing is, you look at even though how bad we're playing. You can never say you're more likely to shit us getting winning it. Not saying we are going to win it, but like there's more of a chance that way. But still, I still think like there's just the ceiling's so much higher than what we've got. You know, than what we're playing right now. We could have such a great team to watch, an exciting team to watch, but it's just not there at all.
So do you reckon he should play a 5 or you like a 4 at the back? What do you reckon?
I reckon he should play himself off the fucking pitch. I don't understand why we're going to a World Cup that come around. They come around every 4 years and we're like, yeah, let's just give it to him because it would be nice. Why? I don't know why it's a complete write-off. I don't know why it has to be.
What do you reckon would lead to him being sacked, like performance at the World Cup?
Nothing, mate. He could lose. Well, this is before the Germany-England game tonight. Yeah. He could lose 7-0 tonight and he will be leading England
to the World Cup.
But,
the World Cup, what would lead to him being sacked? Like for the World Cup?
It should just be not winning it.
No,
I don't agree.
But how many more tournaments do you need to give him? The only reason he might not get sacked now is because England acted too late and they can't get Potter. And you really going to get Eddie Howe?
You know, he's favourite still.
Yeah, I did see that. I was say. Yeah.
But you know, the thing is, I think round of 16, round 16.
Why? What if we get to a quarters? Because we beat no one.
Yeah, but okay.
You think he should stay?
No, but it's more like
if we edge past, like even in the groups, like it's the Euros, we were pretty dire in those games. Croatia, they were all right. Scotland, I remember
Scotland was shocking,
atrocious. If they have a group like that and then they get past a team who's I can't remember exactly who we're seeded with.
It's like Senegal potentially.
Right. Senegal aren't a bad side. They won AFCON. Let's say they edge past them and then they go out.
Yeah, we have most likely France. I think in the quarters. If we finished off our group, which. I think if you lose to France, are you really good? Like for me, I think Southgate even said like I don't want to overstay my welcome.
Him getting sacked,
but I think he's going to leave.
Going out of the World Cup isn't because he's lost to France. It's more just you've taken it as far as you can, and that's been my knowledge for a long time.
But he said he was going to he didn't want to overstay his welcome. I think Southgate's gone whether
he's already done that.
I think he's the World Cup. He's going to understand like. Even I think if he wins it, he can bow down. You know what I mean? Like I think the pressure's getting to being the England manager is one of the jobs with the most amount of stress. out of anything, right? You know, you've got the whole nation watching you. Everyone's making like watching you make the big calls, and everyone wants to literally like slag you off and say you're shit. And I think generally in this country we are more negative towards our players.
I
and
think
our managers in general.
for a period of time everyone was very positive. I've always had my doubts with him, but I just think.
But we did walk. Most people wanted Southgate sacked for the Euros, and we still got to final. That's for me.
But what game should we not have won there?
Well, you could
just what game?
But I think mentally, it's like as Guy was talking about. It's what you see nowadays. You know, like think about all these tournaments, the great plays. You know, Lampard's, Gerrard's, Scholes, the golden generation.
They lost to good side. They lost to good sides on penalties. They lost to Portugal on penalties.
So, Toby, do you reckon?
And they had shit managers. That was the problem then.
Do you reckon he should have been sacked after the Euros?
Yeah, or he should have walked. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
But he got to a final.
And you could have gone for Howe then. You could have gone for Potter as well over the last year or so. After Hungary, maybe not sacked. I think he should have maybe recognised, I've taken this team as far as I can. Someone else is going to be the next guy to go and win something with them. I think he should have recognised that because he knows tactically. As soon as he came up against Mancini, completely outdone. From we scored a goal after 3 minutes and we sat back for the entire game. That made no sense.
But I would say 99% of people would say he should have stayed in the job after the Euros.
But we got to semis of the World Cup, and I wouldn't have gone not long after that. Really, I just thought he did really well in harmonising the squad. But you knew there
was obviously a ceiling, but I didn't like. It's much easier to say now than it was 12 months ago.
But I was saying it to you lot well before.
Yeah, but I feel like even you would turn it like by the end you were like, oh, like.
But by the end I said it's good that they've done that.
Like that Germany game for me.
I kept saying we're getting lovely draws. Like Denmark in the semi-final, Croatia in the semi-final World Cup. You're not going to get that again. Finals are to play. Finals are to win, not to play. As Mourinho put it.
I do feel like just international football is just a completely different game. That's why I feel like
get Mourinho in.
That's why you can have managers who are, you know, they're less talented or so, but they get more of a tune out of their players because it is a different. It's almost like trying to gel the players. Like how much time they
get that, but do
they have to actually implement the tactics? I mean, now for the big tournaments they do, but like even Southgate today was like, I've only got 2 days to, it's not enough time to work on it. But, I just feel most of it, and that's why England, I think, have faltered for so many years, was the gelling. And that's why I always wanted, I was like, Southgate's doing a really great job of that. But for me, I'm the same. I'm a bit like, I'm hesitant for this World Cup now. Like, it's the first time
when you're looking at when the football
out.
Is that dire, and you have options who can quite clearly change that, and more worryingly, players who you see a great level from in the Premier League most weeks, and they look awful. They don't do anything.
Well, he's playing players who don't play, and the players who do play, they're not either picked or they're yeah. I mean, Tomori for me as well. Like that's got to be surely someone's going to give that a shout. I just know if you brought another.
But do you know what's sad is that like you can who's going to start at the World Cup?
Well, it'll be Stones, Maguire, and Walker in the back three.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Stones or Walker. To be fair, I mean Walker didn't cover himself in glory for the goal, I don't think. But Stones starts anyway for me. I don't think
he's
there's
class.
any that John Stones doesn't start. But Maguire will start, and I don't think Maguire's the worst centre back in the world in the slightest. But there's so much about his selections that are so predictable that you feel quite disillusioned with it all, just because you know it's not the best team we've got. But he has people who he feels like he can rely on.
Yeah, he's got his favourites. He'll always be like that.
But he has got his favourites, and I do feel like when the new Magic, like when he first came in, he was picking all the players the fans wanted to see.
Fresh ideas,
and then it's like the same thing. Like now, the manager came in now, he'd be picking a complete different team.
Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me. Do you remember for years when it would be like, so Euro 2016 was an absolute shocker with all that Iceland loss and everything. And Vardy had just come out of the season on fire for Leicester, and like Sturridge was looking good at that time, and I think he came on and scored the winner.
Drinkwater as well won the league.
Wales, yeah, people, you want to pick players who are up for it and are in a really good run and momentum. It makes sense because it helps galvanise the squad. And he just picked Rooney, and you're like, Rooney's fucking finished. Like we don't seem to clock on early enough to certain players. Maybe switch things around, make it competitive. I mean, what incentive does it give players like Tomori, other players as well, to even try England? Like, what does Maddison have to?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
What does Maddison have to do?
Maddison doesn't care. Surely he doesn't care now.
At this point, you'd be like,
I wouldn't blame him. Like,
all right, Maddison must be Southgate out. I don't know if you're watching this, Matters, but you must be. You must be like, fuck this guy off. Come on, get me on the plane.
Well, we were saying before, weren't we? Like, he doesn't like Southgate doesn't like players who have got like some kind of personality, whatever you want to call it, off the pitch. someone like Madders, Grealish, like they like their
Chilly's
they like their
like,
Instagram and all that stuff,
yeah.
and Southgate he must influence
a
his
Facebook
decision.
man.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't like Instagram. he hates TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
remember Southgate scrolling.
Kane's on TikTok now. He must get dropped for that.
I saw
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why Mount doesn't play anymore because he's got TikTok.
Yeah, he's dancing too many dances.
Doing the gritty.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, he there's something about that he doesn't like. You can tell.
yeah,
He
I
likes
know
your
it is.
honest professional. He likes your Maguires and Eric Dyers and people like that, doesn't he? You can just tell.
I feel he thinks they're more reliable. You know, he doesn't like the party boys. Like, wasn't it like Abraham? Who was it? Chile. And
He wouldn't pick Neymar. I'm gonna throw it out there.
Yeah, probably
He wouldn't
not.
pick Neymar.
The only thing I would say is he did pick Jesse Lingard, who is the most TikToker bloke
Yeah, too.
ever.
But I feel like he got more TikToky as he sacked him off, basically.
Probably. Where he's just
One
doing,
dance
"Oh,
too
it's
many."
low."
he started. Jay Lings. Yeah, about.
But yeah, no, I don't know. It just annoyed me on Friday. And you guys know I'm pessimistic anyway when it comes to England, and I don't try and. It doesn't seem to affect me emotionally as much. But like, I was actually angry after the game because I was like, that was what a waste of my evening.
And what was so mad was he said loads of positives to
Yeah,
take. I couldn't think of one.
No.
Zero.
Well,
Literally
actually,
zero.
no. Wait, let's have a think. What would be one positive? You
I
could say?
thought Declan Rice played okay.
What about Dyer? I thought Dyer was okay.
And Dyer was okay.
Yeah, Dyer
Yeah.
wasn't bad.
I don't mind Dyer in a free. Actually,
It ended.
That was good.
It did
yeah,
end.
that was good.
There was a
There was an
half-time
ending.
break as well.
There was. I went
yeah.
for a piss. I had some Pringles actually.
I like Mancini. Like seeing him win. That's a positive.
He's dyed his hair. Did anyone else?
I didn't
spot this?
clock
I was
that.
like, you were great. You were great. I swear you were great.
I
Even
didn't
when
clock
Aguero
that.
was winning the league, you were great. And now he's dark as anything.
The highlight of the game, 100% Gabardini coming on.
Oh
That-
yeah,
that
what a
100%.
throwback.
That honestly,
Good shout.
Do you know what he is? When people always point at your Michus, your Papi Cisse's, even Amizaki, but he had a little spell at Southampton where he was on fire. Remember like the Carling Cup final he scored
Yeah,
in as
it was
well?
6 months in 2017 when he
Yeah.
signed in Jan, and he was just sick.
Yeah.
He was scoring for fun. Yeah, 2 in the cup final.
Yeah.
Could have been a hat trick, I think, but he's given offside or something. Yeah,
I just remember him
Yeah,
scoring
yeah.
loads of goals and having a bit of a Papi Cisse.
he was
But
great.
he was a real throwback.
And then
to
coming
England.
back, you're like, oh, what? You kind of go, what have you done in the last 5 years to merit this? You must have done something good.
Anyone actually know where he plays? Like what
God
team he
knows.
plays for?
I would go with either. I actually don't know. I reckon like Genoa or it might be China.
Oh, I got no
No,
idea.
I can't-
So
you
I'd
won't
say,
get
Although I'm
Selects.
getting mixed up with Arnie, I think.
I'd say Sampdoria. He
I was
definitely
gonna-
played for them.
I think Sassuolo.
Sassuolo.
Got a throw.
Yeah, no, but yeah, he was just like, he came on and we were like, what's he doing on? So random.
But-
So random.
So just before we move on as a topic, because I feel bad just shitting on England consistently, but it is frustrating.
Yeah,
obviously,
it is annoying.
I've never felt so hopeless going into the tournament. Like I don't really have much hope for them anyway, but like I've never felt this like, oh, this is just to get this out the way so he goes.
But at least the expectation is really low. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, going into the Euros, I think people were actually quite expectant that we were going to do pretty well. So we got through all the stages and it's like, yeah, we're going to win that. We're going to. Now, everyone's like, yeah, we'll probably get to the quarters.
Crazy thing is, 6 months ago, everyone was like, we could actually win it here. And then the form
Yeah.
started thinking.
Did you?
Well,
I thought if we got rid of him,
But no, I thought
Well, in
we were
our,
the
we could still win it now. Get fucking Tuchel and you could win that. Who knows?
In our predictions in the first pod, am I right or am I
Oh,
wrong
you
that
did back
you
it,
said
yeah.
England?
Yeah, I mean, it was banned.
So
No, but
you-
to be fair, look, okay, hear me out here. Easy group, finish first. France do the curse, which is they never, since 1998, the winner of a World Cup never go through the group stage. That means that we get another shitter in the quarterfinals. So we get, let's say, Senegal or someone maybe even worse.
Beat Senegal twice in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just beat them in the
Yeah,
we'll beat them in
and
the
then
knockouts, and we'll get
round of 16 quarters, we get someone like less
Senegal.
good. I don't even know who's in that group.
Maybe
And then
semis?
I think we get Senegal.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
reckon.
And then in the final we beat Senegal.
Yeah.
more Senegal.
There might be an asterisk next to that World Cup, but we still take it.
Yeah.
But and then semis, I think, is either Portugal or Belgium, and then finals for whatever. I think a final, it's 50, it's always just like whoever just turns up. So, I mean, you could get an easy run. Who knows?
This one thing I'll give Southgate credit for, he does get an easy run. I don't know how he does it.
It's because
but
he missed that pen.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it.
Yeah.
He's one of the ones with the balls. He's got them all warm.
Yeah, he's got warm balls.
We got he got Denmark in a semi. We take that. Although Denmark actually a pretty decent side.
They are good. He got 1996 Peno missed Juju on him.
Yeah.
Like, which is like now
well,
he's-
that is a lovely segue. We will move on. Anyway, actually, before we do move on, if it meant he goes tomorrow, would you like if England lost tonight and he went tomorrow? Would you take that?
Yeah. Well, it kind of depends who we get in.
Tukes.
Yeah. Oh,
it's not going to be him.
Oh,
but
yeah. If it was to be Tuchel, 100%.
Yeah.
What about if it's Allardyce?
What about Wenger? Actually,
No.
actually, yeah. What about Wenger?
I'll take Wenger.
I'll
yeah,
take- I'll
everyone's
take
vibing
He's been
Wenger.
out of the game for so
Yeah,
long
but
now.
he just wants to play football.
Mate, he would get. He
don't
would
know.
He'd bring in Ben White. He'd get all the
Mate,
Arsenal
and
boys
also
in.
that would be good judge against France.
Yeah.
I feel like having Wenger against France would be quite a fun one to have.
He would probably beat France.
Yeah.
yeah.
he
You,
probably
well, you
would.
got the France sub on, mate.
I do. Thierry Henry 12.
yeah.
Lovely.
Little handball
Little
against
matching.
against Ireland.
Yeah.
Bash.
Oh god, I'm gonna be devastated with that.
Oops.
But yeah, I'd just boot him out.
Yeah.
He's not going to leave.
I'd get Big Sam back or Deitch. Get Deitch in.
Dyche should be. No, but it's the same
Dyche
football.
ball for the World Cup.
Dyche ball?
Oh my
I'd be
god.
down.
Who's
I'm
he
in.
playing up front? Tony or Tony?
Jay Rodriguez.
Maguire.
And Maguire. Jay Rodriguez and Maguire.
Tarkovsky at the back.
Dwight McNeil
Yeah.
plays, you know that.
Yeah, Dwight McNeil play. Jack Cork.
Hey,
It's Jack
Cork
Cork.
and Rice pivot.
Yeah, and maybe Brownhill.
Yeah.
I reckon he brings
Yeah.
Crouchy back from retirement just for like a little stint, and then
Is Barnes
Shawcross.
English? He might
Yeah.
be English. Yeah, Ashley Barnes.
He's Austrian, isn't he?
Ashley Barnes.
Yeah,
Austrian. I didn't
he's
even
Austrian.
know that.
He's English, but he's Austrian.
Yeah. Oh, okay. One of the bit like Matt
Cash.
Yeah,
Cash.
yeah,
the, the Polish
exactly
wizard.
that.
Yeah.
Bamford will get nowhere near his squad. He hates
Oh, no.
Bamford, doesn't he?
Yeah, he'd
Silver
ban- he'd
spoon,
ban
up,
him if anything.
silver spoon up his arse. He said, "Yeah,
Phone's getting nowhere near it.
Yeah.
Too much flair. Too many of those silly tricks. Get out.
No, yeah.
I would actually be interested to see Dyche ball at a World Cup.
I would love to see him operating with players like Foden. Like, what does Deitch do with them? How does he work?
He
with
just
them?
goes,
Yeah, you're right, guys.
yeah.
Well, we wouldn't concede a fucking goal, but that's the thing. It kind of suits international football because it's a defensive game. It's because
I could enjoy Deitch ball. I think.
He just goes 6-2-2 and that'll be it.
I was.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I was ready for Big Sam when Big Sam was
Yeah.
happening. I'm ready for Andy Carroll up top.
Best ever record as England manager.
Yeah, bring him back.
Bring him back. He's proven.
I would love it.
He's proven.
he would
Exactly.
he would do. And like think about just
He
the points.
wouldn't have got relegated from the Nations League. That's one thing Big Sam didn't do until his last
He-
last spell. But West Brom didn't really.
He
count
also
that.
wouldn't have conceded 4 against Hungary.
He wouldn't have done that. That's
No,
that's bang on.
no,
I
it's-
feel like he beat Hungary. Was that the team he beat?
I think he might have beat Slovenia.
It's someone along those lines. It was,
Or
it was
Slovakia.
very much a qualifier sort of.
And I
game.
think Joe Hart had a proper worldie in net, and we beat him 1-0.
Lallana.
Yeah. I can't remember who it was, Slovakia or Slovenia, I think, but yeah.
Yeah, he did well. But yeah, you mentioned some juju going on, and this Pogba incident is just getting quite mad. I don't know if you saw this clip. It just
Yeah.
the Mbappe clip.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
there's a lot of accusations saying he put it on Mbappe for that game. And I watched the highlights from that game. And I was like, I don't normally believe in this stuff. And by the end of it, I was thinking, I need to get into this judge. This is looking a bit mad. Like,
You think there's something to it?
Well, I kind of snapped out of it and went, hang on, no, it's a load of bollocks. But like, he
Mate,
was fucking awful.
Never say never, mate. He never
No, I
know.
can't say never, but
He did. He was
okay,
tripping over the ball.
I'm not someone who chooses to believe in it, but seeing that game, I was like, wow, he is. Like, that's a horrendous
Pogba would
performance.
have the money to access the top juju
That's
specialists
true.
in the
We're
world.
talking to the wrong
The
guy.
old,
Yeah.
the old witch doctors.
Yeah, he'd really access some top tier juju, and my god, did Mbappe fall over hard?
Yeah, and like randomly as well.
Yeah, it was like he was dribbling, and he was just like it's almost got hit by a sniper, just
Yeah.
bang, drop dead. Yeah, like the Jew.
Yeah,
Gee.
maybe it could be.
Is there a bit of disharmony in that France camp ahead of the World Cup?
There's always this harmony.
I think.
whether it's dodgy tapes or
Yeah, something going
all
on.
sorts. I don't even know what goes on in that France camp. To be honest.
that honestly, Mbappe's ego as well. Like imagine having to work with him. It'd suck. You see Neymar as well in an interview recently. They I don't know if it was more just like lost in translation, but they were like, "What do you think of Kylian?" And they were like, he goes, "What?" He goes, "Kylian," and he goes, "Oof," and like just like walks away.
Yeah, I saw that.
I haven't seen
Yeah,
that,
yeah, that
no.
was weird. That I didn't really know what to make of it.
Yeah, it was almost like I don't know if it was like I can't talk about
Maybe it's
him.
like I want to avoid this topic.
Yeah,
Probably.
Yeah.
but still, like it was just the way it was quite an assertive tone. Quite like it wasn't just like
The size of his head's getting a bit big.
yeah, no. But that's the thing. I mean, that's the thing. The French team, they just gel. They're unstoppable.
But their squad is just so disgusting that it's just hard to ever write them out.
Yeah.
It's hard to write them off for like the next 4 tournaments, to be honest, because they're so young, a lot of them.
Another squad who I saw actually on Twitter who can fill out 4 squads, which is Guy's prediction for
I know
World Cup winner.
Portugal
Yeah,
got some,
Portugal
they actually
have
some talent.
disgusting
I,
squad
if
there.
you pick their
They're
team, I wouldn't
hot.
even put Ronaldo wouldn't start in my Portugal team.
No.
Nah, he's
Who's
cooked.
front 3B?
I
It's
put
too
Ronaldo
many.
on the right because you got enough midfield options, I think.
Who else? Bernardo. Who else was there?
Jean Felix.
Felix.
Guedes, Jota. Guedes as well is good.
Yeah, he plays for Wolves though.
Yeah, he's got a bit.
Yeah, but I'd start Neves and
Vitinha.
I would play Vitinha, but I'd play Nunez. I'd play Nunez.
Or Palinha.
Palinha's good as well.
Or Vieira.
Yeah.
You've obviously got Bruno Fernandes.
I don't know.
I know, but like
I know what you mean.
I know,
He's
but
stinky footballer. Like to watch.
I don't know if you watched the highlights the other night, but Dalot had a bit of a worldie.
Mate, Dalot's having a worldie of a season.
He is. Yeah,
he's actually looking like a really good player.
Seems like Ten Hag is getting him playing.
Well, he's got Scott
seriously well.
McTominay playing pretty well as well, to be honest.
But to be fair, I do feel like United fullbacks, they go for like one season wonders and just disappear. Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, he was good when he started for a bit.
Palace is very good.
They all just sort of do a season and they go,
I don't know with that Dalot. I think he's quite good at Milan as well before, so that's interesting.
No, but the season at United means, and they have like a peak season and they go, I'm in the team now.
I just think Ten Hag's good, to be honest. I think they're quite a few of their players looking good already. But we will. Sorry, I've literally just lost my head there. All the words are out of my head.
Cut the international chat short.
Yeah, we'll cut the international chat short. Nicely done. And we'll bring it back to Blast from the Past. This week it is mine, Cruz and Guy. Don't have a clue who I'm going to bring up.
Nope.
But this man, he holds a place in my heart, to be fair. And he was just a hilarious footballer in retrospect, but a stressful one when we had him. And I'm talking, of course, about the man, the myth, the monobrow, Jose Bosingwa.
Jose Bosingwa.
I mean, he was one of the most stressful players to have to watch. He was horrendous defensively, to be honest. Absolutely horrendous. But he gave you so many funny moments. Like, going forward, he wasn't bad. He'd probably suit the modern game a bit more, to be honest. If you just whacked him at wing back, he'd be kind of like a bit Alonso, to be honest, but on the right.
Yeah, he was quite Alonso.
Do you know what I mean? A bit of a head loss, but could do a bit going forward. He scored a couple of screamers. I remember one away at West Brom, which was very good, to be fair, on his weak foot. But he was just such an unrevable clown as well at the back sometimes.
Oh, it's a bit like he was a bit like a Boué.
He had that in it.
A blast from the past. Blast from the past.
Yeah, exactly. Nicely done.
Yeah.
I think he's probably better than Boué, although his QPR days.
I was going to say where I would give Bosingwa credit for is that I don't know where he plucked these games out of his arse from, but the Barcelona game when we played at centre back when we had 10 men.
Yeah.
I was going to bring that up.
I don't know where that came from.
That was. I remember watching that game going. That was unbelievable.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Well, as soon as we went down to 10, Cahill came off. He'd done his hamstring, and then we went down to 10 a bit later. Bosingwa came on. I remember me and my dad going, because it's like you're playing the best team of all time, and this fucking bloke's coming on like jumping, all like smiling, and you're like, oh.
Was it Bosingwa, Ivanovic centre backs at that point?
Yeah.
That is,
Ashley Cole, Drogba slotting in right back,
Ramirez
slotting in right
and
back.
10 men.
Yeah.
Jesus
and then,
Christ.
And
Barcelona.
Mate, time has never gone slower than that 90 minutes for me in my life. Like, that was the slowest. It was like you look at the clock and it's like, it's been about 5 minutes in your head, but it's been 10 seconds.
Didn't Mireles have a great game as well that game?
Mireles, all of them did.
I remember him, I remember him singing with the two. I thought, fucking hell.
I like Raul. No, Raul Mireles are right because he got the occasional banger.
Yeah.
And he just looked like a hipster. You're like, he's quite an interesting one, isn't he?
He was quite a sick volleyer. He's got some nice volleys.
Mate, he had a lot. I remember I was at the Benfica game where he sort of ran the pitch and just blasted near post. He had a hit on him. But yeah, Bosingwa in the final as well did a real good job on Ribery, like genuinely good job.
Yeah, he started in the Champions League final. I mean,
won it,
and won,
and he won one at Porto. He didn't. He only played 7 games during that.
Did he?
During that campaign? Yeah.
Impressive.
Annoyingly, he didn't get a Barclays Premier League medal because he won under the requirement in the 2010 double
that's
season.
A shame.
Yeah, he did it. Yeah,
that is sad.
Season-long injury.
My memory of him, I think it was, who was against, I can't remember. The blokes
was it Ben Ayoun at Liverpool?
The bloke shielding the ball in the corner, and he just runs behind him and leg up just stabs him in the base of his back, and he's like, "What are you doing?" Like, it's proper headless.
I remember like actually cheering it because we were playing away at Liverpool, and it was I think late on, around like the 85th minute or so. Torres made it 1-0, and like the 90th made it 2-0. So it was one of those games where like. And we had 10 men, I think, as well. So it was like, fuck, we were close to doing something, but frustrated. And he took out. He did what you would do as a fan. They were killing the game in the corner, and he just went, nah, fuck this. Just put his foot in his back.
It was ridiculous. Like.
He didn't even. I don't even think he got booked. I think the linesman flagged for it, and then gave a throw-in or something.
He didn't get sent off.
No,
for
no,
that.
he didn't get sent off, and there was no retrospective action because they'd given something they'd seen it.
That's what VAR's ruined it, mate. You could get away back with that back in the day, can you?
Yeah, that was an honest challenge 10 years ago.
Yeah. Eyes for the ball.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, he was just such a ridiculous character. And even when I researched it a bit because I did remember, obviously he went to QPR after Chelsea for a year. And what a year it was. By Christmas, he refused to go on the substitutes bench against Fulham. And then on the day that they were relegated, I can't remember who they drew to, but they were relegated, and he was spotted by Sky just smiling to himself on the pitch. And apparently Joey Barton slagged him off as a result, and loads of fans were criticising him, and then he went to Turkey.
Well, I remember Harry Redknapp saying when he arrived, he was like,
there are too many players who don't want to be here.
Yeah, he's like, but singles on how much? Like, it was just in shock.
No, it was 100k, wasn't it?
Yeah, he must have been on a shitload of money.
130, I think. Yeah, just
well, they were just handing them out all over the place.
Yeah.
QPR at the
Oh,
time.
it was
Who
mad.
else was in the Premier League?
mate,
that was
mad.
right. That was kind
Chris
of a bad
Samba was
team.
going back and forth
They
and
brought,
back and forth.
yeah, they brought Chris Samba back from Russia for like stupid money.
Yeah.
Like the amount they paid him was like 150 grand or something for Chris Samba. Who else did they have in that team?
I know they got
like,
Junior Hoylett.
yeah, they got like Remy, and
Tarat.
Yeah, Remy was very good.
they had Eduardo Vargas. Do you remember him?
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Vargas,
they had Townsend. Townsend he was scoring bangers.
Yeah, Granero. He looked
Granero,
right for a bit.
and they had was it Fabio or Rafael, the twin from Man United?
I think
it Fabio,
they're
wasn't it?
the worst one. I think they're
Yeah,
Fabio.
Fabio, yeah.
Rio Ferdinand.
Yeah, for
like an aging Richard Dunn.
Yeah. Just popping up with the occasional own goal.
Yeah.
Oh mate, he was so
he was
bad.
kicked. I did like Richard Dunn though.
Like
Yeah.
he built like an ox, but not in a good way, like a fat ox.
Who would have won in a sprint? Him or Mertesacker?
I reckon Purr's got the strides on him.
Yeah. He
Oh,
could
mate,
open
it
up,
takes him a good like 30
Yeah,
seconds
he's
to
got to
go.
warm up, but I reckon he's got the
he
strides
could
on him.
open up his legs,
Yeah.
couldn't he? He's kind of like bound. Like,
Yeah.
Do you remember Mertesacker's goal line clearance against United? I think Welbeck was like he shot and it was crawling to line. You see Mertesacker was like trying to sprint, but it was in treacle and he had to slide for like 5 meters to get there because it's faster.
Go,
And cleared it off the
yeah.
line. I was fucking dying. I was like, the ball was just trickling.
I don't know why you, as well, thinking about QPR, you just reminded me of Sean Derry. I just forgot who that player was.
And
He
Sean-
would have been a blast from the
Sean
park.
Derry.
that double act is fabulous.
Mate, they had some
That's
real
proper
old
Warnock
timers.
ball. That is proper Warnock
They
ball.
had some old timers. Yeah, Sean Derry used to live really near to me actually.
Did he?
He moved into a house that was on my old road. Yeah.
Oh, mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy.
Legend of the game.
Nice guy. Yeah, proper legend of the game. He's a manager now, I think, isn't he? He used to manage Notts
so,
County.
yeah.
Don't know who he manages now.
Is it a bit like Joe Barton, who
Sure.
just like does a
Yeah,
stint here and there?
100%. Barton's where?
Barton's alright,
Bristol
to be fair.
Rovers, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah,
Played with before.
Yeah.
he's on the up.
He's on the up.
He's on the up.
He
But
was
yeah,
he was a stalwart that team as well when he Barton.
Barton was, yeah, but that QPR side was low key quite fun.
I
Like when
actually-
they were just signing everyone, it was
Yeah.
quite. That was random, wasn't it? Was that Tony Fernandez? Is he still chairman there?
Oh, good question. I don't know actually.
I have to look up after.
I actually I can't remember who they beat. I think it was when Townsend scored a long shot. I made a full QPR FIFA team.
It was like a volley, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Genus was there a bit, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, another
He
retire.
scored a couple goals.
And it was quite a bad team. I did like
They
Vargas.
all these signings must have been texting each other going, "God, it's a good retirement home."
Yeah.
Like, all of them.
We're on wedge.
All the England ones as well, like the Ferdinand, like they must have been like, "Yeah, come along, mate. They're paying me. You know, this is how
Yeah,
much they're paying
Rio.
me."
He
Rio,
was so
man.
bad. Jeez.
As if Rio was at QPR.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Terry at Villa. It's one of those ones you kind of think, "Oh yeah, that happened." It's
Yeah.
random.
Oh yeah, that is true.
I
We didn't really see
totally,
him there.
totally forgot that was a thing.
Yeah,
Obviously, Championship, you don't. Yeah, it's not like.
but yeah, they were appalling, and Basinga was at the heart of that. But yeah, he was just one of these players that, like, in retrospect, I can really laugh at. But it was stressful, man. It was stressful.
There's so many players like that. At the time that you kind of hate them.
You're kind of like, get out.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
when they
yeah,
leave,
yeah.
they go, thanks, but
Just a bit of
you
a
have to go.
proper cult hero.
Yeah.
players. Yeah.
So by the end with Willian, I think I touched on the other week. Like,
Yeah.
By the end, I was like, you need to go, mate.
Oh, when he arrived,
You-
we were like, "You need to go." For us.
You love to hate him, really.
Yeah.
Like there's a bit of an affection
Yeah.
there.
But yeah.
I thought you were going to go for John Obi Mikel when you said a bit of a.
Oh no, I
Mikel hero.
trusted Mikel. We just had too many good midfielders, but Basinga I did not trust in the slightest. Ivanovic got him out quite quickly in that team. But yeah, interesting as well. I was looking back, and in 2009, so only a year after we had him, Bayern were trying to buy him.
Yeah.
And you're just like, it's mad, isn't it? Basinga. We turned down like 30 odd million at the time, which obviously in terms of
Wow,
how much that
that's
would be
a
now.
lot.
Loads,
yeah.
mate.
Yeah, but I think he had a bad injury in that 09. Like in this first season, I don't remember him being as bad as he was. He was better going forward, but I think an injury took it out of him and he had to clown it up a bit more.
You just know he was just sigging after matches.
I don't know. He was fit. He
Yeah,
just,
but
he just
he
was
could-
like brain dead, like footballing.
But I
He
can-
just wouldn't know when to be in the right position. It was just dreadful defending.
I watched him play for Portugal a few times. I
Yeah.
watched Portugal play international games in Portugal, and yeah, I saw him play a few times for them.
What a baller. But yeah, he did have a number of games against top level opposition that he had really good games against, but in general he was absolute stress. But I'm trying to think of a good comparison in terms of which clowns we can go with. Yeah, who would be your trusty clown out of Abue and Basingwa? maybe that could be the Spotify question of the
I
week.
don't know. I mean, for me, I'd probably take Basinga because I don't know. I go back
Basingwa the
to
highest, although Abue sometimes.
I just think Abue, he has so many like non-footballing antics that you can just laugh at. That like ridiculous. That story I told about him with the training, taking the training and all that stuff, and listening into the North Korean team
Yeah,
talk.
yeah, he played
has
up to it.
proper
He played up to it, yeah.
clown moments.
But would you rather have like if you're playing like I don't know, just any really good team? Would you rather have Basinga in your team or Bue?
I reckon Basingwa was a better player.
I'd
actually,
have
thinking about
Basingwa.
it, yeah.
Bue was just after that.
I'm trying to think of
Liverpool
a
one,
better example of the question, to be honest. I just remembered as well, Basingwa, after the Iniesta late goal when we got robbed, said I don't know if the referee is a referee or a thief. He was banned for like several games.
Was he?
Yeah, which I didn't think was the most. I think it was a pretty valid comment. I think it was more than fair to say it. But
People said a lot worse and not got banned.
yeah, definitely. But okay, so what is the better kick? What is the better kick? You got Basingwa's on Ben Ayoun,
Good one.
or I feel like it's a one-sided one if I go Cantona.
What about Roy Keane on Holland?
Is that a kick? That's good. Would
Yeah,
we classify that as a kick?
Wow, you just went through him. Yeah, sort of. Was it more of a stamp? Ugh, I don't know. Yeah, it's more of a slide tackle, I guess.
Yeah, all right, we'll go with that though. We'll go with that. It's a bit of a kung fu kick, to be fair. We'll define it as that. But yeah, that
We
we
could do all three.
And last week, we had
no, I was going to say or Nigel De Jong in the final of the World Cup.
better. That's on form. That is on
Yeah.
form. Nice. World Cup themed. But yeah, that'll be our question of the week. And then last week we found out that, I mean, you lot agreed with us that David Villa was probably the better player out of him and Torres.
Yeah.
Defo.
So
100%.
so let us know what you think. What are your memories of Basingwa? Did you enjoy him? Did you enjoy laughing at him? Or did you enjoy some of his amazing performances, which randomly would come at the best times?
Always monobrow.
Yeah, always monobrow.
Yeah, we haven't. I don't think we've touched on the monobrow enough.
No,
Incredible monobrow.
Yeah, it was something to behold.
It was beautiful. I feel like he stole that monobrow. He worked with it.
Did you give it a fade? Did he fade
Yeah.
his monobrow? Really nice.
I think occasionally he did cut it.
Yeah, you got
Did
it.
he?
Yeah.
Got a shape up on his
Yeah.
monobrow. Fair.
I wonder do people ask for that? Reckon people that have monobrows?
Well, most people pluck it away, but they.
Is it a pluck job or is it just?
I don't know. What
Was it
what,
wax?
20 quid for a trim, 25 for trim and monobrow.
Well, like sometimes they do. You know what I mean? At some of those bars.
Oh yeah, a touch up. Oh
So
yeah,
maybe
mate,
like-
he got it touched up for sure.
Yeah.
I reckon but he like wanted the monobrow to look beautiful.
I think he kept it deliberately.
he got a
100.
ruler out, and just snipped it off.
100.
got through that. Right, yeah, we'll wrap it there while we're waffling about monobrows. Make sure to follow us on TikiTalk podcast on TikTok, on YouTube here, or not necessarily here. You might be on Spotify. If you're listening to us, follow us there as well. And we'll catch you guys next week, where the football will be more interesting. Premier League's back. Good stuff.
North London derby,
And Manchester derby.
Cracking.
and we'll be going, aren't we?
What? Yes, we are.
Good stuff.
12:30 Saturday. See you there.
Nice.
See you there.
Enjoy your weekends.
Come say hi.
And don't get depressed about England. He'll be gone soon. Bye-bye.
See ya.